Hello everybody, it is the Dark Conservatarian. It has been a little bit since I had last put out any content, a little over a week now, but I thought I'd just quickly do this very short edition of Strike Force to just read up this news article that I had just come across on Facebook. New York business owner, this is according to the Western Journal by the way, link in the description. New York business owner tears up $15,000 COVID fine on live TV. So, I saw just the mere title of this, and this was looking to me to be a sign of there being a pushback. There was already a pushback beforehand in the way of protests and whatnot, but this seems to be an even bigger pushback. Patriotism, a bigger pushback against the lockdowns and whatnot. Patriotism and defiance mingled Tuesday night on Fox News as Western New York gym owner Robbie De Niro ripped up a notice finding him for COVID-19 violations. Come and get it, De Niro, who spent 14 years in the Marine Corps, said after tearing up a letter from the Erie County Department of Health during a live interview. He said the fine came from a Friday night protest at the gym, which has been closed along with all other gyms in the region after New York Governor Andrew Cuomo imposed new restrictions last week in response to a rise in positive cases, or positive coronavirus, whatever. De Niro's business is in Orchard Park, a Buffalo suburb. In a video posted to YouTube and shared by Fox News, a group of protesters can be seen in a confrontation with deputies who had arrived on the scene. One asked them to have compassion, citing the economic hardship so many are facing amid the unprecedented lockdowns, before daring the deputies to put him behind bars. "This is private property. Go get a warrant," another person said. "Get out," the crowd chanted. The deputies eventually left the scene. I think that's something that we all need to remember, is if anything along the lines of violating private property rights, tell the police officer, if the police officer do anything in that regards, tell him to go get a warrant. That's one key thing to remember here, folks, if things get any more heated in regards of lockdown round 2. In his live interview Tuesday night on The Story, De Niro explained how this battle began. He had called a protest on Friday and posted about it on Facebook. "We were about 20 minutes into that meeting when some sheriffs and a Department of Health officials showed up uninvited," he said. "My business was closed. We were not conducting business. This was a protest. They walked in uninvited." De Niro said protesters asked him what to do, and he said they should get the officials to leave. "These patriots took it upon themselves to stand shoulder to shoulder and tell them to get out," he said. The gym owner said that if he had been in the wrong, backup would have been called to escalate the situation. But then again, if you were in the wrong, I think you probably would have, if you decided for yourself, it came to your own conclusion that you were in the wrong, you probably would have just, walked away from the circumstance and there wouldn't have been backup call in the first place, but whatever, mincing words. But the story did not end there. On Tuesday, after the gym was closed, deputies and a Department of Health official returned to the gym. De Niro told them to return during business hours, but instead, as the officials left, they taped a notice to the gym door telling him that he faces a $15,000 fine. Holding back his emotions, De Niro spoke about the principles behind the protest. "Any infringement on our liberty goes too far. We were born with inalienable rights bestowed upon us by our Creator. They are guaranteed by the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights," he said on Fox News. "Any infringement on our freedom for any reason is too far. Our freedom cannot end where people's fear starts." Hear, hear, folks. He challenged Cuomo and Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz to sit with his family or the families of any of the 100 protesters behind him and explain why the politicians should get paid while working men and women cannot earn a living. De Niro then ripped up the letter notifying him of the fine. "They picked a fight with a Marine and a whole bunch of patriots," De Niro told WBEN AM, adding that he will not back down. He made a similar point in an interview with WKBW-TV, saying, "They found out they messed with the wrong bunch of patriots. I'm not here to argue with the governor or the county executive about spike rates. I don't care. Freedom can never be subjugated to fear." Yeah, and I say that whatever in regards of the stats of coronavirus, whatever spikes happen or whatnot, people need to take their own private sector activism, if anything. But in spite of whatever the data might look like, it's not big enough as it currently stands, and might not ever be big enough for it to be ethically considered that we should start just restricting people's freedoms. Erie County Comptroller Stefan Michagiello, however you pronounce it, I'm going to butcher that throughout this article, said the county went too far. Mark Poloncarz crossed the line. Punitively punishing a small business owner that served our country is despicable, he said in a statement. According to WKBW, people are fed up, Michagiello said. The resistance against power-hungry politicians destroying businesses with arbitrary COVID rules they make up as they go along has begun. Enough is enough. Mark Poloncarz is a bully that cares about more about shutting down the economy, closing schools, regulating churches, and damaging families than protecting the health of our community. End of that article. And I say, good. I say this is a good thing. There is a fight being made to push back against this encroaching tyranny that is happening right now. And I just want to add as well, let this go out as another anecdote of how that the government is encroaching in on our freedoms. Because apparently there are still people, I still am fighting with people who seem to be denying the idea that the government is encroaching in on our liberties and is just getting more and more controlling progressively. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I'm the Dark Conservatarian. See y'all later. Bye-bye.